Great. Good evening, everybody. Hello, you beautiful dreamers. This is going to be a bit of an odd one. I get a distinct feeling of. We're already having technical issues. Things are off to a fantastic start, but that's okay. We're not going to let that hold us back. We're going to do something a little bit different this evening. Not just the fact that we're playing a Doom mod for the first time in ages, but we're going to be trying to record this in a slightly different way. Something which I'm hoping may prove fruitful. We will see, of course, at the end of this how it works out. But I don't want to necessarily delay us getting straight into this because we're all tired. Monday's in, everybody. Isn't that good? We are going to be looking today at a Doom mod called worsthub.wad or W0257 U8. You can probably see that in the video title there, which is a mod. A WAD by Zazer. Zazer made two of the WADs that I think we quite enjoyed on this channel, if not more. In fact, I've probably played other Zazer content in the past. So Dead Air and Dead Wire were both made by Zazer. But this one in particular is a bit of a favourite of mine from quite some time ago. I was inspired a little bit to do some coverage of this by Sai. Sai started talking about making Yume Nikki inside Doom, and for some reason this has always sort of appealed to me in that sort of way. Now, when we get into it, you're probably gonna be thinking, "What the fuck are you talking about, Fudge?" But I don't want to delay too long because this is a long old wad. So what is it? As I said, it's Worst Hub. It was released in July 2004, if you can believe that. So it's going back a while, and I pretty much played it not too long after it came out. So showing my grey hairs here a bit as a Doom WAD player, but that's okay. And it is the third of a trilogy, which I always had this notion of trying to play all three games, but we'll go on to that in a little bit. But it's a WAD for Z Doom, and it was released in 2004. What does the README say? It describes itself as the worst hub in existence and the sequel to Lost Soulsphere. There's not much else of particular note in the README, the usual sort of bump. I got some rye ready. I don't know if we are, says Dame. Are we drinking? Also, says Dame. I of all things, I'm drinking a beer, but we'll get on to that. I don't have much else to say. There's not much in the README, so we will jump straight into it. Now, you may get the notion of from what you're seeing, this is not going to be me playing it live. We're actually going to be looking at a recording that I made recently, and I'm going to be giving you my insights as we go along. Does that sound like fun? I hope so. Here we go. Let's do it. I may need some help with the volume. If it's too loud or too quiet, you guys will need to tell me. But we'll see. This WAD is quite loud. So here we are. We're in the world's worst hub. And this WAD is just fantastic in terms of how surreal and random that it is. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I don't know how impenetrable this is going to be to somebody who isn't familiar with Doom, but I can certainly attest that one of the things that's always a charm about this is just how fucking weird it is. Now this could be described as a joke wad in a lot of ways. I think in a lot of ways it transcends a joke wad, and it kind of becomes its own thing, which Zazer has a real knack for doing. So one of the things you might be immediately noticing off the bat, not just the fact that instead of a pistol, we have a middle finger that shoots lasers or plasma bolts. All of the enemies look a little bit strange, and by strange I mean they look completely fucked up. This is both a bit of a novelty, and it's also a bit of a mechanic in terms of how the WAD works, but we won't spoil that. It also has a lot of things which look very, very glitchy. We've got some invisible sectors there. But one of the things that this makes use of, I mean, look at these zombie men here. Look at them. They're idle at the moment. Well, they're not idle now. So one of the things this WAD makes use of, which not too many Doom WADs do make use of, is the game audio seems quite quiet. Okay, good. Thank you for telling me that. It's quite a loud WAD, so I don't necessarily want it to be too loud. Thank you, Crystal Creation. This floor is quite interesting here. I can't hear the game audio. Yeah, it instantly kills you. Which seems a bit harsh. So, now I've got some floating shotgun guys. There's a lot to try and figure out as you play this. It's interesting when you're playing it because you can just sort of roll along with it. However, when you're watching it, you can sort of take a moment to just appreciate just how crazy it all is. I mean, look at the sky. Look at what's happening in the sky there. It's just flying around like mad. And we're here on some kind of train, the outside of some kind of train. There's all sorts of shit going on in there. And we've got some imps that look dead, but the reality is they're not dead. They're just showing what may be their anus to us. So we have this weapon. It's a grenade launcher. It's a new weapon. It's quite exciting, and it's quite easy to kill yourself. Now these zombie men that are running towards us are actually revenants. You also notice, if you listen quite closely, there's a lot of peculiar sound effects being emitted by a lot of these enemies. Sounds like doors opening and stuff like that. I mean, I love this. I mean, this is like right up my street. And some of the ways that the same things that apply to Yuminiki, the complete craziness of this really appeals to me. I mean, we're shooting these weird glitchy zombie men while they're in the toilet. Too good for them, perhaps, but Dame says the skybox is fantastic. Yes, it is. One thing to pay attention to is the messages in the top left. There's lots of rather odd messages. Some of them relate to the other games in the Shitwads trilogy, so they might not make a huge amount of sense. But I did want to do like a playthrough of the whole trilogy, but I think of the three, this is the best one, and I don't think there's any storyline to it. I don't think there's any reason you need to play the other WADs. This one stands on its own 2 feet, I think. Good, so there's a lot of backtracking in this. There's a lot of trying to remember where things are and which key goes where. Now this room, I was stuck. Look, this is something else, right? Look at this, right? So there's this chasm here, a chasm. You get propelled over and you die. Now, when I played this many times, I figured out that there's a sort of a knack to this. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of trying over and over again, but it turns out, actually, the way to do this, which I only figured out very recently, is just crouch. Yes, this one does get loud on occasion. It gets very loud. So we'll just gingerly step up here, activate this teleporter. This is something you've always dreamed of. Well, yeah, see what I mean? Yuminiki. It's like Yuminiki, isn't it? It's got dreams in it. You have to do this quite carefully because you get propelled all the way back over to where you started. If you move to the left or the right, you die. You will die. But we now have the yellow key. The yellow key is important because it opens up a whole new section of the level. Past the train tracks. And have we seen the last of these areas? No. No, we have not. getting a load of the I think it's called the bulldozer rifle. The Mancubuses behave a bit differently to how they do in Doom, and they hurt when they hit you. They hurt a lot. So let's go down here. Why am I old, says Unicorn? I don't know. Let's go through this. This looks ominous, doesn't it? This map was called Gigabyte Trainwreck, and this map is called Really Big Level. This is how big it is. Oh dear. This is where things in this WAD get a bit mental. So the only technique I have for this, if you can even hear me, is try and get the monsters to infight and strafe around like a madman. Argon asks, can you add more keys into a WAD in some source ports? I think you can change them. I don't know if you can add more. There is like... I think there is things you can do to have certain other conditions for opening things, but I don't know if you can actually have like a whole extra key. Because there's 6 keys, and there's kind of one key which would, like, by getting both to say the blue. Yeah, don't read that message, guys. But I think we might have made a bit of a mistake there. What mistake did we make? We fired our gun once too much, and now there's a fucking Archvile. The Archvile's flame has been replaced by the sprite of a shotgunner, and he is busily going a bit mental. Resurrecting everything. He needs to die. Yes. Hands up in the chat if you read the message and are now a dumb. Good. Taken down. I can hear a lot of monsters. Can you hear a lot of monsters? We got this weird selection of textures here, but look at this little stairway here. Wonder what could be up here. Oh dear. Because of the strange sloped floor here, a lot of the weapons don't work very well. Like, for example, this rifle is pretty hopeless. So we'll just be rude to them instead. Never hurts to be a bit rude. So one of the things that's fascinating about all of this, if you are in any way looking at this and thinking how fascinating and not what the actual fuck is happening. So obviously a lot of the projectiles and monsters have been switched for other sprites and things in the game. And now one of the most obvious ways you could achieve that effect would be to pull the various assets out of the game and then sort of arbitrarily put them on the monsters, right? You could do that. You probably wouldn't get quite the same effect, but one of the problems that you would have with that, certainly, is that it would be of questionable legality. One of the interesting things about the way that Zazer did this is that essentially all of the actor sprite offsets, which is like the enemies and stuff, have all been modeled around and are pointing to different things. So it doesn't I mean, the WAD only actually weighs about 3 meg. It's not massive. And it's certainly... I don't imagine you would get into any legal trouble, but it's an interesting little bit of kind of going the extra mile to achieve your rather questionable visual effects. Good. Also, I must say, the music in this WAD is something that I really appreciate. I have no idea how audible it is. Obviously, I hope you guys can hear it, because I really like the music in this WAD. Get some bullets before we proceed on to the next nonsense. This guy's stuck. Bless him. This was a mistake in hindsight. Apparently he had a lot more health than I was expecting. Okay, good. This little satanic room. Turn up the game audio. I can turn up the game audio a bit. As I said, I'm a bit conscious that it's going to be kind of loud. Look at this teleporter. As I said, I'm just going to pause it for a second. I'm going to put the volume up. On your heads be it. I mean, I kind of want to be heard, but I also want you guys to appreciate the whole experience. So there's a whole bunch of imps down the end of this corridor. Now, do you ever listen to your streams? Nothing's ever too loud. I did try my best to keep things under control. That's probably why that is Argon. Thanks for your observation though. It's certainly better for it to be too quiet than too loud, because otherwise it's kind of pointless for me being here. But anyway, let's talk about these imps. So the imp's fireball sprite is actually the middle finger for the pistol, but it's rendered essentially way off the level. So in effect the fireballs are invisible. You can hear them impacting the wall next to me. And since I only have a very small amount of health, we need to be kind of careful. Now these little pits that we're walking past, they will kill you. And I think it briefly happened, but there's like an earthquake that happens, and it will try and knock you in there. God, that's actually so loud now, I can't really bear to listen to it. Oh dear. Take out these chain gunners. I know some Commander Keens. Damn it, Commander Keen. Get out of here. The grenade launcher is perfect for that. But you do need to be careful you don't murder yourself. Okay. Well, what about this little pit down here? This looks like a good idea. I'll just call the lift. Good. Wow. This is a tall lift. One of my favourite things is a tall lift, but you need to remember and press this button. This button's important, and it's quite easily missed. What was the point of that? Well, no. Getting high for a while, and coming back down. Why not? So that's opened up a bit that we went past earlier, where we were killing the Archviles. So we need to do a little bit of backtracking. Just a wee bit, not too much. Just a wee taste of backtracking. Argon says, how bored do you have to be to make a shitpost WAD with this much effort? Well, that's kind of why I love it, to be honest. Now, we need to make sure there's no sneaky demons hiding around these corners. Good. Taken down. I know I've got the thing that everybody loves in Doom, especially if you play Doom Eternal. Bit of jumping up and down some little ledges. It's just like Half-Life 2. Maybe a little bit better than Half-Life 2, if we're honest. I don't think there's an unaligned texture in pretty much this whole level. Just about all the textures look like they're incorrectly aligned. I don't know what that says about your effort there, Argon. And for some reason, the floors in this corridor go down as you walk over them, which you can see on the map there. Why does that happen? Who knows? Let's go down this grassy hole. And we have our teleporter. Good. So this is like I guess like a boss area, you could think of this as. It's quite exciting an area. We'll say that. And we've got a new gun, the elephant gun. Let's put it up this cyber demon's ass. Cyber demons in this this WAD are useless because they've had their weapon changed to the grenade launcher, and they have no sense of like trying to aim over long range, so they only ever fire it like a fixed distance away from themselves, which is not particularly good for them. It works well for us though. That's a lot of blue keys. If you ever need a blue key door opened, I'm your man. Because all of the enemies look like, well, just a collection of nonsense, it can be quite difficult to tell if something is dead or alive, or if it is indeed an enemy. Good. They're fighting. The cyber demons can fight because they hurt each other with their splash damage. So that's fun, isn't it? Yes, it's obviously not made for a widescreen port, Argon says. Argon says the muzzle flash from this gun is pretty good. Shame the gun isn't very good. I kind of hate it. I don't like the elephant gun at all. Dame says, anyone else feel as if Doom Guy sunk into the floor? It's probably just the scale of this area. It's because it's so big. There was me being a little bit too close to the cyber demon for my own sanity. That could have easily killed me, easily. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So what's that done? Well, it's done two things actually. It's called down this blue section here, which is something that we want. You'll also notice, if you're observant, we are moving very, very quickly at the moment. Okay, but we don't have a key to open this yet, so we can't go in there. So we're going to find something else to do. As I said, you'll notice we're moving very, very quickly. Now, I think this is a bug with modern Z-Doom, because what would happen, certainly as I remember it, is your speed would return to normal when you return to the real world, as it were. But you'll notice we're moving around like we have just got off Madatsuki's chair, and we've just been doing loads of drugs, because we are running around like a mad idiot, even with always run turned off. This is gonna work against us, unfortunately. As much fun as running fast is, cue the heavily distorted Sonic music, it doesn't really help for where we're going next. And where we're going next is something truly traumatizing. How convenient that I was talking about Sonic, Who's like the anti-Sonic? It's the other Sonic. You might even call him the B-side of Sonic. Oh, that's right. Mario. Oh god. This level. So this is like platforming. This is more platforming in Doom. And we're moving at like 200, 300% speed. This bit's a struggle. I won't lie, this bit's a struggle. The only saving grace of this is that there are these little ledges around the blocks that you can stand on and you don't die. You're going to see me saving a lot here. I don't have the patience for trying something like this over and over again. I would probably be very bad at something like I want to be the guy. As you saw, if you stand on the platform for too long, you will die. So there's a bit of a technique to it, but I think it is kind of cheesing it. Good. And then we need to go back down. How fun. How fun. Because we have so much momentum, it's quite easy for us to run off the edge here. Like that. One slight maneuver in the wrong direction and you die. You die almost immediately. But we did it! Hooray! Oh, this looks fun. This looks fun, doesn't it? Right, did it. Cheesed it. Did it though. A lot of saving. I feel like that's okay because we're moving so ridiculously fast. I don't see how anyone could do this normally. I remember having a lot of difficulty with this anyway. The fact that you run so fast doesn't help at all. It makes this very difficult. Okay, good. Right, we're making progress. Can't be that much more of this to go. I mean, how much platforming can you have in a Doom game? A Doom map? Surely not that much, right? Well. Huh! Jumping to her death, good. If you can save scum in a video game, then you should. Yeah. You don't need to tell me twice. Oh, God. I couldn't imagine trying to do this in one sitting with this movement speed that you've got here, because it's honestly, it's so disorienting. Trying to do any kind of precise maneuver. I mean, Doom Guy's not known for being slow normally. He's quite a quick guy. Despite his somewhat bulky form, he's quite fast. Quite fast. So you can backtrack here, or you can do what I try and do, which is just sort of skip. There are some big blue invisible walls that will stop you from doing things too crazy. Of course, you do need to remember that these platforms lower as soon as you touch them, so you need to figure out your next maneuver quite quickly. If you're me, your next maneuver is to stand there like an idiot and then die. This level is like, to me anyway, it's like the Dark Souls of I want to be the guy. But in Doom, on ultraviolence. Yeah. And this is why you save. This is why I have no qualms about using those little ledges to try and cheap my way through this, because it's pretty bollocks. I think it is made worse by this bug, or at least I'm pretty sure it's a bug. I'm using an older version of Doom actually to try and sort this, but it obviously hasn't sorted it. But what's quite interesting about this, now you guys might not find this interesting, but I find this deeply interesting. As best as I can see, nobody on YouTube has played this WAD. I wonder why. Oh god. Come on now, Dancing Tim. You can do it. Or Speedy Jim, or whatever your name is. Speedy Jim. Come on, Speedy Jim, you can do it. Nah. Speedy Jim, that was bollocks, mate. You're certainly no speedrunner with these sorts of maneuvers. Oh, there you go. Pathetic. Alright, good. we're making progress. This is actually the easiest bit, I would say. The fact there's those little platforms around the blocks means that it is literally just a matter of walking forward at the right time and stepping onto the platform that you wish to get onto. How pleasant. So it's almost relaxing after the nonsense of the previous areas. See, this WAD, it's only like 3 or 4 meg, and I think most of the size actually comes from the MP3 music that's in it, or the non-MIDI music that's in it, because most of the other assets were already in the game. These platforms will kill you. The lava will kill you. That's why there's blood on it. To let you know it's gonna fucking kill you. Good. Okay. That's progress. Nice. Now, I don't know what happens here. I'll take a few swings at it, but I think this is also broken in this version of ZDIM, because I don't remember this working the way that it did. Now, if you just run over it, you'll notice that you just seem to die. Now, we didn't touch the ground or anything. You just seem to die when you hit a certain point. And if you touch the other ones, that you do definitely die, and that makes sense. But I think something here doesn't work quite right. When I tried this, when I was doing a bit of practicing, I had to cheat, but you'll see that I actually found out how to do it here, or a pure fluke, just by doing a bit of strafe running and a bit of ninja dodging around whatever deathly thing was killing us. Oh, a gun! We don't have any of our guns, by the way. Oh no. Jish. What is Jish? It's not clear. But we do have a good gun. So this smart gun is a good gun. It is a very good gun. Very enjoyable weapon to use. But we've got some lanterns that we need to try and kill. But we can fly. That's lucky, isn't it? Take that, cacodemons. You got nothing on me. I can fly too. I'm the flying doom guy. So one of the things I really appreciate about this WAD generally is that's just a torch. I'm just trying to kill a torch that's just part of the scenery now. No torch is safe. I find this much more playable than a lot of joke WADs, even despite the level we're in. The main challenge I have though is trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. Argon asks, do you have to kill these flying lamps? You certainly do. Here's me trying to remember what you're supposed to do, and then remember you have to get the red key. We got the red skull key. We can now walk on nothing. Excellent. Well done us. Now we need to get into this little box. And we're done with the map, the Mario level. Good. Have a nice day, thank you. And this is apparently reality. We have lost a lot of our guns, which is a bit of a sad thing, but we'll make do. We'll be armed to the teeth again in no time, I'm sure. Good. Taken out. Another enormously long lift. This definitely calls to mind something like Mach 2, where you've got like stupidly tall lifts and stupidly tall sectors. But now that we move extremely fast, we can do something else that's very fun. Let's go down here. Very fast. Wow. That was fast, wasn't it? Wasn't that fun? Did you have fun there? I know you did. I know you did. Now, maybe some of you out there may be trying to keep track of where it is we're supposed to go. It's probably not that complicated, but we need to backtrack again. Because if you remember, we got the red skull key, and the red skull door was in that one area where we were fighting the spider masterminds and the cyber demons. So we need to go back there. And this is what I was meaning when I say you kind of have to keep in your head sort of where the different things are. You kind of do that in some Doom levels, but I would say due to the weird nature of this one, it's quite challenging. But it's, as I was trying to explain earlier, it uses this, it's using this hub-like nature of the levels to its strength. Which isn't something you don't see a huge amount of hub levels. And it's a good opportunity to grab some more armor and health while we're here. And get our elephant gun back. Fantastic. Not that we're going to be using it a huge amount. I don't really like it, but I much prefer the auto shotgun. Good. So now we move on to a whole new area. Which is this area here. Okay. Well, we'll drop down here then. Why not? Well, that doesn't immediately seem that useful, does it? It's just lowered a lift. So what now? Aha, look. Secret door. Secreted away. And a secret soul seer. And a secret door, which we can't open. Well, I guess we're going to have to go in here. I don't know why that sector is tagged as a secret. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to progress through the level without coming through here. I do like this gun. I like this gun a lot. Okay. We're getting shot from somewhere. That's interesting. Can you at home spot who's shooting us? It was that key. We're getting shot at by the blue key. Should have known better. So there's a fair few things to try and do here. And it can get a little bit confusing. You're going to see me get a bit confused trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. First protocol though is we need to go over here, reveal the switch, and then go up here. For some reason this sector is just slightly too short, so the lift doesn't want to go up properly. Now one of the things that only affected me in this playthrough, I haven't actually had this problem before, is that So there's going to be a lot of enemies that teleport in here, and our job is going to be to kill them. But certain things won't happen until all the enemies have spawned. You can probably see a rather strange animation is sort of moving around there. And there seems to be a hell of a lot of these flying fucking shotgunners. That's not a key, idiot. That's a heavy weapons guy. Heavy weapons dude. And heavy weapons dude. Oh. So yeah, some of these monsters are still making their way in here. Which is a bit of a problem, because we need them to come here so we can kill them. Bloody keys. So that should trigger some more monsters. Heavy weapons key, says Argon, yes. No, slime can't hurt you, and S. And S, you say? Picking up the box of shotgun. I love the little messages. It's a little touch. A fine point. Now, I think this is the point where I'm kind of like, what is it that we do here? I've forgotten. And the thing that's confusing is because we need to wait for some of these monsters to spawn in, which they're busy farting around outside the map space, trying to annoy me. But apparently, not in a way that involves actually coming to try and shoot me, which I didn't realize was a thing. So throws me off a little bit here. That's okay. They want to come out one by one, I'll fight them one by one. 1v1, it's like a duel. Okay. Well, now what? Okay, I've killed your evil demons. Oh. One more. One more. It's because they're quite, they're quite heavy fellas. Only one of them can use the lift at a time. And finally, it reveals this. And we can go up onto this little platform. It teleports us back here. However, we're missing something important. You might think we should be able to open these doors. However, we cannot. And also, for some reason, when you're stood on top of this box, it's a damaging floor. Why? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Son of a gun, you see. So we're missing something, obviously, right? We're missing something. What could we be missing? Is it this door? Nope. Need a yellow skull key. Well, what are we missing, dreamers? Well, it turns out there's some stuff that needs to happen, but you're going to watch me flailing around for a little bit trying to figure out what the hell it is. Somewhat connected to these other issues. I say issues. I think this is just purely... we're at the mercy of doom here. So we triggered that already. So that doesn't do anything. But there was an if you were paying attention, there was an invisibility sphere that we didn't pick up. That was hiding in one of those little alcoves. Perhaps that has something to do with it? To be honest, even after having played this, I don't actually know what was going on here, really. Every time I played this before, the monsters would just sort of come at you in most of these sections. But you know, they're a bit shy sometimes. If you're a monster, you'd be feeling a bit shy. A bit conscious. I mean, Doom Guy's never got anything nice to say to you. He's only interested in ripping and tearing your guts. So here's me looking at the console trying to think, did we pick something up? Did we pick the yellow key up? No, we didn't. We didn't. So, This is all despite the fact that I did a dry run of this right before I did this recording, so it just goes to show you that I have the memory of a goldfish playing this. Hurt myself on the damaging floor a little bit more. No, that door don't work, idiot. That door don't work. And then suddenly, monsters. Somehow connected to the invisibility sphere. Why is that? I don't know. There you go. And much like the Mancubi, we need to wait for these guys to slowly port their way in one by one for some reason. Which is very kind of them. Okay, so now what, you might be wondering? Well, now if we go back here, the door's open. Great, and we can use the exit. I do love an exit. And this takes us all the way back here. Remember this area, right? You need to be quite careful here. Because if you move into the middle section, this happens. And as much fun as this is, it doesn't end well. So, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to just go straight over. And look at all these yellow keys. It's like the animation of someone pulling their trousers up. Let's get some of these yellow keys, eh? Delicious. I seem to remember there's a gun hiding in there somewhere, but we don't need it. Wherever we go, we don't need guns. Guns are not important. So a whole slew of backtracking that we need to do now. Going back up here for what must be, what, the third time? That's good because, you know, at least we know how to do it. It's quite complicated, this jump. Non-linear. Is it time to backtrack all the way? Not all the way. I think this is the last time we need to do any significant backtracking. We've got all the keys now, so I think we've got everything that we need. So we can make our grand maneuver. Few supplies on the way. Quick bottle of health for the road. Thankfully, everything in this level moves so quickly. Well, the player does. Shame about the lifts and stuff. They don't move particularly quickly. And then we want to move over here. Get this. And here we are. This is the final level. First one. Things start hitting a sort of a critical mass here of weirdness. The room apparently leads nowhere. That's a lot of Commander Keens. We're gonna need to kill them. Much like in Doom 2, Commander Keens only serve as something that needs to be killed. Unfortunately, we have no bigger weapons than this shotgun, which means it sure does take a while. For whatever reason, they can't move through this little gap, which is probably a good thing. I do seem to remember that they could. Perhaps in 2004, when you would have played this on ZDoom at the time, they would have been a bit more aggressive, but they seem quite content to just bounce around in this little room. WTF. WTF indeed. Or is that a clue in Hangman? But now we can use this. Am I going to get a weapon here? A very exciting weapon indeed. The broken chainsaw, or the saw meat as it's called. We're not going to use this very much because it sucks. It is not a very good weapon. Good. Bits of doors, you see. How beautiful. Modern art, I would say. That cheeky cunt has opened the door. What was he thinking? There's a secret area to the left here. In the space between rooms. However, because I suck at moving around, we actually move into it by accident. We get the secret weapon. Lots of use of the ZDoom infinite sectors here. If I had to levy one criticism of this WAD, it would be that most of the fights are just a bit too easy. There's too much health and stuff. So we press that switch, but what did it do? Well, it's kind of complicated. So there's these big pits to our left and right here, which you can only traverse around by being very careful. You're seeing me explore around like a bit of a dumbass here. So there's like a big invisible pit there. If you fall in it, you're stuck. There's no way out of it. So we're gonna press this button, and then we're gonna very carefully move our way around here. Gonna go in here, get a radiation suit. Try and navigate our way back out. You see it says, hee hee, you falled in the hole. Joke's on you, motherfucker. We pressed the button and now the pits are covered up. No fear of dying for us. One of the things that I'm trying to do here is figure out if there's a secret that I've missed. What I didn't realise at this point is I actually got all the secrets. I don't know what I was trying to do. But I think I was thinking that pink sector there was something that I wanted to play with, and I was determined to find out if that switch somehow affected it. But of course, as you would have just saw if you were paying attention at all, the switch activates the door that we're looking at here, so it just shut. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough then. Yeah, we got a lot of monsters to go, Argon. Argon's pointed out that it says 74 out of 831 monsters. The key was behind us. It said red key, time for S-gun. I always get really nervous using a grenade launcher in a confined space like this, because it has a tendency to lead to you dying when you have Commander Keens that decide to just rush at you. They look pretty serene, don't they? Peaceful almost. Well, Argon, I don't have to read them out, but I am choosing to. I didn't want to have the chat on the stream by choice, but whatevs. WTF staircase. Okay. How does that help us though? Well, we have an extra key. Maybe there's an extra door we can open. Oh, this looks exciting, doesn't it? I guess this is where this gun actually serves a purpose. This bloody elephant gun. Close range while you're invulnerable. And now we're in... Who knows what the fuck we're in? Invisible walls. Well, it turns out it's a maze, but thankfully the map, the level editor, or Zazer, has left the levels on the level walls in here on the auto map, which means we don't necessarily have to have such a hard time. We just need to use the auto map. It's a cool effect, though. I mean, it looks very surreal. I love these infinite sectors in Zdiv. It's one of my favorite things in Doom. I just think they look really bizarre. I can't think of many engines you see things like this. I just think I always think it looks really pretty. Hey, you fuckers. I'm coming. This is quite brave, because the shots can actually hit the ceiling if you're not careful. Depending on where you're stood, that can sometimes not be what you want. Okay. Those were actual monsters, not pillars. But now what? Okay, that's not worked out for us. If you look at the map carefully though, there is a secreted door behind here. Aha! A secret stashay. Oh good. Night vision goggles. And BFG. It says kill stuff with this gun. Now, the main thing that you're going to be killing with this gun, if you don't know what it does, is yourself. Like that. So this gun is extremely powerful. It's also extremely loud. The enemy here, the Insanity Spider, also happens to be extremely powerful. As in, it kills you very quickly. But thankfully, most of them are stuck inside each other. So what this fight really calls for is patience. A bit of patience. Hopefully the radiation suit effect will go away. The thing you need to be careful of is the mere act of killing some of these demons will cause other demons to wake up, like suddenly be unfrozen. So those ones behind us, those are alive. They're just stuck. That's your insanity spider right there. So you're definitely an undisputably powerful weapon, but you have to be careful with it. Also, this area of the level, for whatever reason, is extremely dark. This only seems to be in this version of Z-Doom. The other version of Z-Doom I tried was actually a lot brighter than this. I don't know what that's about, but thankfully there are goggles. And one of the only times I've ever experienced in Doom is the goggles being useful. The goggles don't do nothing in this level, if you can believe it. You might be wondering why I'm not using the super gun. It's because these enemies are way too close, and that's an almost certain way of getting myself killed. It's quite difficult to make out where the enemies are because of the corpses being the same as the alive enemy sprites. I wonder why they didn't go with that in the original release of Doom. It probably would have added an extra element of challenge. Well, I think we're making progress. It's somewhat difficult to tell, but I think we're making progress. Use more gun. Use a gun. Now we can start kicking with the big gun. There's only a few of the night vision goggles in here, so you do kind of need to keep up the pace a bit. Perhaps living a little bit dangerously there. Thankfully that is a dead enemy and not an actual torch. So that probably wouldn't have ended very well. You can see there's a sprite of the grenade launcher in the back, in the under the floor there. Why? I'm not sure. Argon says seeing is for chumps. Yeah, you saw how dark this area was before. It's not really that much fun when it's that dark. Not if you want to use the big gun, anyway. Excellent. Let's use this. Boss. We did it. A very, very slow kill count. It's alright, you can have confidence in your boy. 69 items, 100% secrets. Could have got that any better? Doubt it. Doubt it. Ear Splitter. An awesome song by some Bofi. That is the lesson of this WAD. Of in this WAD. You have beaten the world's worst best at the same time WAD ever. Let's look at some monsters. There's the Zomboy. Here's an X9A. It's like a channel name, that. Key Warrior. A Deed Body. Straight out of Scotland, that one. Deed Body. A Commander Keen. Sounds a little bit like a Pinky. This is a hashtag Bic, hashtag Dude. Or is it hash big, hash big, hash dude? And a Flying Torch. Frozen in Place. Mighty Mouse. Which is a Baron of Hell, I believe. I don't know what Evil Celting is, but I'm pretty sure that's the Arachnotron. Gonorrhea, lovely. A Fake Trooper, this is your Revenant. It sounds like a lived when he dies. A Jambalaya. Look at him go there. Better off dead, to be honest. A Spider. Because he goes She, I think. This is a Kyber. Relatively normal, actually. Hellskin would be our protagonist. And that's it. That's it, everybody. Now, I would be very curious to know what you guys all thought of that experience. I'm going to pause that there, because we have now seen everything there is to see in this WAD. And we got all the secrets as well, which is really good. Now, I mean, I love this WAD. I love it. I've played through this WAD loads of times. Not frequently enough that I apparently remember exactly where to go. But in some ways that's good, because it keeps it fresh and interesting every time. And I have no idea what you guys would have made of that. But I think it's great. It's so bizarre, and it's so bad it almost is good. But I think perhaps it's trying so hard to be bad that you can't help but be a little bit impressed with it, even if it is ultimately bad. Zazer did. This is the third WAD in a series of WADs by Zazer of this sort of era. I would say this is the most interesting of the three. The second one, some of the levels in the second one are quite interesting. The first one is I think the first one is a bit weird. It's very much like a stock Doom experience, just with some different music and some creative elements in it. The second one's weird and a bit juvenile, whereas this one is very weird and certainly appeals to me the most. I've wanted to stream this for years, honestly, and I wanted to do a video on it for years, and I was a bit surprised to see that nobody on YouTube had done it. So there you go, I've done it. I've broken the seal, and I've put it up there. And as Crystal Creation says, it's certainly memorable. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always think about this WAD when I think of Doom WADs, like just how mental it is. And I guess perhaps a little bit unrecognised. Yeah, that's about it, kids. As I said at the start, this has been a slightly different format than the usual fare. I wanted to see if this is something perhaps worth exploring in the future. Argon says, I think a lot of the things you'd play would be fresh and interesting for you. I mean, I beg to differ. I mean, we play a lot of things on the stream which I don't find particularly fresh and interesting. A lot of things. But, you know, that's fine. That's fine, isn't it? It'd be interesting to know what you guys thought of this, and if you quite enjoyed this format. Obviously, Monday night streaming, bit out of character, but who knows, maybe we might do some more of these things in the future if you've enjoyed it. That's it for me, kids. Relatively short in the grand scheme of things, no 2-hour beasts on a Monday morning. Thank you for watching, and if you're watching, of course, on the YouTube as well, then thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I will hopefully see you all on the next one. Good night, and good luck, and goodbye.